What about over here? That's all the way up too. Cool. All right. And I'm finna, bro. I'm about to be doing some reaction videos and all of that. Let's see. All right, let's check this out. Let's see if we up. Dum, dum, dum. Says I'm live. All right. All right. All right. All right. But where's my live? What the heck, bro? Get off here. There we go. All right. Okay, cool. Play this real quick. I'm gonna let it start up.
Yeah.
Young Team King of the Throne.
Jesus, just me and you. It's just me and you. All the things that we've been through. Yeah. Thinking I was king of the throne.
There we go.
Demons
All right,
wouldn't
cool.
leave me alone. Follow me to Tennessee, no interceding, cause my people was known. Familiar spirits entering in my home, the Philippines in my soul. Bloody Ty was a healer for show. Hannah and I was a midwife, she birthed miracles, but we was exposed. The code was keep it disclosed. The other side, no surprise for the dreamers for show.
Oh.
Grandma used to dream and we would see it unfold. Grandpa used to leave for 2 weeks, maybe 4. Was generational, cause Pops joined the Navy. We drive moms crazy. 8 years old, the neighbors hate me. I made bank when I planned my first scam, robbed my first house, yelling catch me if you can. But in the end it was sin. My best
friend told me.
Since then no one really took me serious, but God had
Plans for me.
Off the backtrack, frozen 3 stacks, hold it, cause my
What's up, bro?
was outcasted. The boy was too fried to get past it till I finally met revival like I just
Came out the casket.
See more with single vision as Uzi backwards, sounding like I matched the beat of heaven. In between the letters, a living legend. Whether the Emmy missing or an Emmy winning nominee, best believers picture perfection, a priest in the presence. I beat my chest when
Jesus is just me and you and
worship. Don't let them demons through to try surface. I'm seeking you to
I find purpose.
find purpose.
Hey, Jesus is just me and you.
I worship. It's my reasonable
Type service.
I'm a priest and you is
It's
my
my.
put on my priestly attire, knee deep in the fire.
I'm about to give a little sample of something real quick. That's probably not gonna come out for a little while because I'm working on a whole project again. Check this out.
Do you love me? 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 Do you love? Do you love me?
Do you love me?
Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love? Until you love me, until you know me,
Until you really get a sense of where you're going.
You're thinking that you're molded, then why do you reject me? I said to you, my prophets, while you were asleep, I've spoken. Your head filled with commotion.
I told you you could rest.
Grace, your heart is beating.
You feel it in your chest.
Sun shining on your face. Somehow you see your breath. How did you get so cold? Do you think that I'm impressed? I ain't enamored by your beauty. I've seen it all again. Millions of them came before. Many more came and went. Nothing new under the sun. Still shining on your head. but still your face is numb. Pride is a drug, it ain't your friend. That's why they always changing. On them you codependent. Without them you felt wasted. Act like you know me then. Addicted to the wind, the breeze on your skin, the peace that it give you getting fleeced by your feelings. Temporary little whims, identity in your kin. You don't see the problem in that. You mad they call out sin. I sent my prophet to you. Then why do you resist? Supposed to set your face like Flint. Instead you won't repent. Well then I won't relent. Well then I won't relent. I sent my son for you, but still you won't repent. Do you love me? 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 Do you love? I am love, you only act like you know me. Yeah, your talk is good, deep inside it's all phony. Conversation front the homies, why? Because you don't see me as God. You just want me to meet your needs. You thought that I could be mocked. Money changes. To me you're nothing more than funny strangers. You want control of what was never ever done away with. To you my beloved is nothing but entertainment. You prefer to feel the wrath than pay your wages, name and claim it. The way it's painted, manipulated, shift the blame in. Get on stages, impress the babies with no intentions of living the way you just was saying. If you got
Yeah, bruh. Yep. That's all I'm gonna give you for now. My next project, like, yeah, bro. I'm gonna have some songy songs probably. I'm gonna have some personal ones, but that one right there, I'm gonna be calling things out, talking about stuff, and yeah, bruh, it's gonna be cool. I'm excited about that one. It's gonna be a whole project though, so I got a couple more to go. All right, let me start this TikTok real quick. We're gonna get a little bit we're gonna get a little bit further than yesterday because I'm not gonna be distracted by that show. All right, we got I got you, bro. I got you. Yeah, bro, I got you on the music, man. I got a couple of songs that I've been working on that's gonna be on the new project that I'm excited about. So, and I'm gonna be working with some folks too, man. That's one of the main things I'm excited about is actually working with some people and not just doing stuff on my own. I'm gonna actually take my time with it. Let me see if I can do a little something else real quick. That one is a lot more serious. That song that I just showed. Um Probably have a couple of those on there. But the idea of it was basically like, bro, if Isaiah was rapping, it'd probably be something like that. And then I got some matter of fact, I'm gonna show y'all a little bit of this though, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna be collaborating, bro. I'm not gonna say who. I got one person already in the works and I got some other names and stuff like that. I got a song that's like kind of paying homage to Tupac, but it's like it's a Christian song, but it's still like, you know what I mean? Should I play? I'm gonna play like a couple of seconds of that one. I got a couple. What do I got? Like 5 or 6 so far. I'm gonna play a little bit of this, just a little bit though. This one I like a lot, but I'm only gonna give you a little bit. See if y'all like it. Cause sometimes I say stuff that people are like, that's not like explicitly, yeah. But straight out of Capernaum, man, we living like a. Anyways, that's like a. If y'all are on Facebook, I know TikTok y'all can't hear this, but what's up? What's up, sis? But on Facebook and YouTube, I got the stream playing. That one you couldn't hear that, bro. Ah, man, I'm tripping, bro. I had that muted. Let me do this again one more time. But this is like paying homage to Tupac. You can tell by the nostalgia of it. I'm gonna play a little bit of it real quick, and then I'm gonna get into the word.
It's us against the world, but with God on the side. We ain't even gotta worry, don't even dot your eyes. Cross your T's with Christ, all things supplied. Thank God you see my song like a rockabye. Every night, sweet dreams singing rockabye. Great things praying for you, you my rockabye. Baby, the only one that really got my eye. Anybody coming sideways, it's rockabye. Baby is what I sing as they rockabye. Saying things like, homie, thanks for dropping by. Maybe the other cheek is what I offer, right? I'm crazy. Us against the world, baby, we thoroughbred it. We real like disciples, like we're straight out of Capernaum, ain't it? We living like a sermon, ain't it? Seeking God's purpose, ain't it? So how can it seem like not everything is working lately? Satan try.
That one's paying homage to Tupac, basically. You know that song "Me Against the World," the one that Jay-Z stole. Not "Me Against the World," my bad. Me and my girlfriend. Me and my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lullaby, but yeah. I'm gonna do one more sample real quick, and then we're gonna get into it. Just because I'm having fun. I'm about to start reacting to stuff here soon, man. I'm gonna start reacting to stuff, but I'm trying to stick to what I'm really doing. So
Your word is a lamp to my feet. Yeah, where my Bible at? And a light to my nothing written except the words in my hand. Yeah. Never let go. Yeah. This word saved my life. Yeah, surely the Lord is with me, I know that. Every single assignment from hell, I'm finna blow back. Hey, this word is a lamp to my feet. As long as I have it with me, I won't snap. A grown man needing the help of his father, I'm crying out for you. Too many don't get it. I two-step in the presence until no matter what they do, nothing could keep me from looking to you for assistance. All I want is a fruitful existence, but how do I steward the vision? I ain't always kept my eyes pure. False prophets declaring they know that Christ is near, even though they lying all the time and they ain't lying on the fact that Christ is coming eventually. Christ will return. God, I ain't.
yeah, bro. That one was kind of like a more so a freestyle, but anyways, man, I'm about to get into this, and Kevin, bro, I got you. I'm always willing to work. Lisette, your son, I've been talking to him. I've been trying to encourage him about the music thing. I'm like, bro, don't sleep on your gifts, bro. Like God gave that to you for a reason. It ain't like for real. I already told him, man, come through or whatever, man, because we can work. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. My next project, I'm excited. Let me take this off real quick because I don't need this right now. But we're gonna get into the word Exodus chapter 10, and then I might react to a little bit later. But yeah, heavy on that false prophet part. Yeah, I just put a post up, sis. I said, man, they idolize prophecy until Micaiah comes through. And bro, ain't that the truth though? Especially in today's day. Like right now, I think the prophetic is very, very idolized. You know what I mean? And honestly, Paul said to covet the gifts and even prophecy, but like, yeah, heavy on the false prophet part. There's a whole lot of voices. Everybody's got a voice nowadays, but not everybody is seasoned and not everybody is matured. Not everybody has been through it, went through it, been tested, been purified, been refined. And yeah, sis, I'm gonna have you on here and talk about that for real. That's like part of your department right there to talk about how that goes. But yeah. All right, we're gonna get into it. Exodus chapter 10. Yesterday, I only got into one chapter, and that was it. So I did Exodus 9, and let's go. For those of y'all on TikTok, Beyond the Fourth Wall with 3 L's. That's my YouTube channel, and then I'm going live on Facebook as well. All right, Exodus chapter 10. Now the Lord said to Moses, go in to Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his servants, that I may show these signs of mine before him, and that you may tell in the hearing of your son and your son's son the mighty things I have done in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that you may know that I am the Lord. So Moses and Aaron came into Pharaoh and said, "Thus says the Lord God of the Hebrews, how long will you refuse to humble yourselves before me? Let my people go, that you may serve me. Or else, if you refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring locusts into your territory, and they shall cover the face of the earth, so that no one will be able to see the earth, and they shall eat the residue of what is left, which remains to you from the hail. And they shall eat every tree which grows up for you out of the field. They shall fill your houses, the houses of your servants, and the houses of all the Egyptians, which neither your fathers nor your fathers' fathers have seen, since the day that they were on the earth to this day." And he turned and went out from Pharaoh. Man, I ain't gonna lie. If anybody gave me a word like that, your heart has to be really hard to not take anything serious out of what was just said. Then Pharaoh's servants said to him, "How long shall this man be a snare to us? Let the men go, that they may serve the Lord their God. Do you not yet know that Egypt is destroyed?" So Moses and Aaron were brought again to Pharaoh and said to them, "Go serve the Lord your God, who are the ones that are going." And Moses said, "We will go with our young and our old, with our sons and our daughters, with our flocks and our herds. We will go, for we must hold a feast to the Lord." Then he said to them, "The Lord had better be with you when I let you and your little ones go. Beware, for evil is ahead of you. Not so. Go now, and you who are men, and serve the Lord, for that is what you desired." And they were driven out from Pharaoh's presence. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come upon the land of Egypt and eat every herb of the land, all that the hill has left." So they already had like went through destruction through the locusts, and now here comes from the hail, and then here comes the locusts to eat up what's left. What's up, Isaiah? What's up, Wayne? What's up, y'all? So Moses stretched out his rod over the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought an east wind on the land all that day and all that night. When it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts, and the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt and rested on all the territory of Egypt. They were very severe. Previously, there had been no such locust as they, nor shall there be such after them. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened. And they ate every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. So there remained nothing green on the trees or on the plants of the field throughout all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste and said, "I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Now therefore, please forgive my sin only this once, and entreat the Lord your God that he may take away from me this death only." And we talked about this. We talked about this the last couple of days, that every time something happened, every time one of the plagues happened, every time there was any type of judgment coming upon Pharaoh or Egypt, then Pharaoh would be like, "Oh, hold on, intercede for me," or he'll be like, "Oh, no, never mind, you guys can go and worship the Lord, or you guys can go do your thing. Matter of fact, you know what? I might actually let you guys go. You guys do what you've been requesting of me." But as soon as the plague would stop, or he would get any form of relief or moment away from that form of destruction that was happening, he would turn back against the people of God. And honestly, if you're going through any kind of cycle, if there's a cycle happening in your life to where as soon as something bad happens, and it's like I'm talking about, like, it's not just like a one-time thing, it's like a cycle where as soon as something starts to get hard, or soon as something starts happening, then you start to turn to God. But as soon as things get easy again, or get better, or there's like a calm from the storm, all of a sudden you're like not with it no more. You're just doing whatever you want. You're not following the Lord anymore. You're like, you forget about the commitment that you made to the Lord. All of a sudden there's a double-mindedness there, and you have to ask yourself, is there some part in me where my heart is hard? Just like Pharaoh, every single time judgment was going on, anytime the plague was striking, he would appear to be repenting, but really it was a cycle. It was a cycle of I'm up and then I'm down. I'm up and then I'm down. I'm up and then I'm down. And if you're going through anything like that, which honestly, if your heart is hardened, a lot of times when your heart is really hard, like it's actually hard, you don't even realize the state that you're in. There's a self-deception happening, there's pride happening, and pride won't easily let you go. So it's more of a I'm up and down. It's like you're bipolar. You're going with whatever's happening. Oh, there's a calm here. There's a like a stillness. I'm not going through it. All right, I'm good. I don't even need God anymore. All of a sudden. But as soon as that starts happening, nah, intercede for me, pray for me, like that's what Pharaoh's doing right here. It's a cycle. Every time it strikes, he's trying to ask for forgiveness. He's trying to act like he's sincerely repenting, but he's not really sincerely repenting. Repentance doesn't just happen for 1 second and then all of a sudden you're back to doing whatever you want to do. That's just madness. So he went out from Pharaoh and entreated the Lord, and the Lord turned a very strong west wind, which took the locusts away and blew them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the territory of Egypt. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the children of Israel go. Then the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, darkness which may even be felt. Wow. Have you ever felt like a darkness? Like there's a presence that's just dark? Like that's what's going on right here. There's just eerie feeling that they're all experiencing. So Moses stretched out his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days, and they did not see one another, nor did anyone rise from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. Then Pharaoh called to Moses and said, go serve the Lord only. Let your flocks and your herds be kept back. Let your little ones also go with you. But Moses said, you must also give sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. Our livestock also shall go with us, not a hoof shall be left behind. For we must take some of them to serve the Lord our God. And even we do not know with what we must serve the Lord until we arrive there. So they don't even have all the details. They just know they got to do it. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. Then Pharaoh said to him, get away from me, take heed to yourself, and see my face no more, for in the day you shall see my face, you shall die. So Moses said, you have spoken well, I will never see your face again. Wow. See, dude should be worried. And like we talked about in yesterday's stream, you know, once you've made, like, even if you haven't like thought it in words, like an inner monologue happening in your head, whenever you have some type of established, even subconscious thought in your heart that you're not going to believe God, you're not going to follow God, you're not going to whatever, no matter what. You know, there's people that no matter what they see, no matter what kind of miracles happen, no matter what kind of evidence, it's never enough evidence. It's never enough. Because once you make a decision about how you feel or what you think towards God, that's it. Like nothing can convince you at that point. You know, and the same thing is true in the opposite effect. If you take a moment to actually make a decision to follow God, to follow Christ, to serve God, to believe the word, then, you know, then there's a steadfastness that starts growing inside of you. But the opposite is true on the other side of the spectrum, where there's a hardness of heart there. Chapter 11. And the Lord said to Moses, I will bring one more plague on Pharaoh and on Egypt. Afterward, he will let you go from here. When he lets you go, he will surely drive out of here altogether. Now, let me say this. Hold on. Let me say this. Because there's a lot going on in the world. As you guys know, you know, it's almost like for at least a year or more, there's been all kinds of exposure happening in the world, but also in the church, and there's a reason for it. You know what I mean? There's a reason for it, you know. And there's my how do I say this? God isn't gonna allow his people to be mistreated for much longer. You know what I mean? God, like, it's like the parable of the wheat and the tares. You know what I mean? There's eventually gonna going to be a separation from the false and the real, the authentic and the fake. You know, eventually they're going to have to be, there's going to be a separation. And first, it's going to have to be exposed which ones are which. And that's what's happening right here in this story. You know what I mean? You got Pharaoh who would not let God, he's mistreating God's people, his chosen people. And the same thing is happening in a lot of ways. Even today, there's an exposure happening. There's been an exposure happening, and there's a separation that's, to me, happening right in front of our eyes. Speak now in the hearing of the people, and let every man ask from his neighbor, and every woman from her neighbor, articles of silver and articles of gold. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, and in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. Then Moses said, Thus says the Lord, about midnight I will go out in the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn of the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the female servant who is behind the handmill, and the firstborn of the animals. Then there shall be a great cry throughout the land of Egypt, such as was not like it before, nor shall it be like it again. But against none of the children of Israel shall a dog move its tongue against man or beast, that you may know that the Lord does not make a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. And all these your servants shall come to me and bow down to me, saying, Get out, and all the people who follow you. After that I will go out. Then he went out from Pharaoh in great anger. But the Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh will not heed you, so that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. So Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the children of Israel go out of his land. Exodus chapter 12. Man, that's facts. That's facts. And you know, what people, I mean, but what we, all of us believers need to, and what God is showing me right now, what he's instilling in me more than ever, is perseverance, you know, long suffering. And I talked about this on one of the previous streams, but those are things that, you know, it's for those that endure unto the end. And for lack of better words, man, I'm not finna get caught out here lacking. I'm not about to get caught slipping. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's either you prepare yourself, or, you know, you're gonna get caught in the midst of something you weren't prepared for. So yeah. Um, so I made a commitment, and I'm, you know, prayerfully nothing gets in the way of it, and there's no excuses. I'm in a place where I'm trying to give myself grace, but I'm not trying to give myself a pass. There's a difference. Sometimes we give ourselves a pass and we call it grace. But what we're really doing is, you know, we're not remaining steadfast, you know, especially if we made a commitment. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pray every morning for an hour, because that's just what I feel led to do. I'm trying to pray in the spirit for an hour to start my day, because I need his strength, I need his spirit, I need his might. I don't need none of mine. And then, you know, if I can, I'm gonna be praying and understanding for an hour too, but I'm breaking it up in reps. And my brother Kevin, I've already told him about all of that. So, but I would encourage everyone else to do that, because yeah, we need steadfastness. Where did I leave off of? I'm on Exodus chapter 12. All right. Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be your beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th of this month, every man shall take for himself a lamb according to the house of his father, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too small for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of the persons, according to each man's need. You shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without a blemish, a male of the first year. You may take it from the sheep from the goats. Now you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Then the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at twilight, and they shall take some of the blood and put it on the two doorposts and on the lintel of the houses where they eat it. Then they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire, with unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Do not eat it raw, nor boiled. at all with water, but roasted in fire, its head with its legs and its entrails. You shall let none of it remain until morning, and what remains of it until morning you shall burn with fire. I want to talk about that. And I'm not even done with the verses there, but it just gives light to they needed a sacrifice without blemish, without spot and wrinkle. It had to be perfect. It had to be spotless. And that's exactly what Jesus came to do. That's why it says that, he lived the life that we couldn't live. He didn't sin. Um, and because he was a perfect lamb without spot or blemish, he was able to die the death that we deserved. And now, um, the word says that if we're risen in Christ, that as Christ is, so are we in this world. So we've been given the gift of righteousness. I look at it like this. Joseph had the multicolored coat, right? And we know the rainbow is a symbol of the covenant between us and God. It's the covenant that's a sign of the covenant after Noah and the flood. And on Joseph was put the multicolored or the rainbow coat, and the righteousness, when God clothed us in righteousness. And when God sees us, he sees his son, he sees what his son did for us. And righteousness is a gift. So when he clothes us, what I picture is in the spirit realm, we're literally clothed like Joseph with a rainbow coat, multicolored coat. And it's not anything we could attain. You know what I mean? We couldn't purchase the price for that coat of righteousness. To be clothed with righteousness is something that's out of this world. It's not something that we can obtain of anything in this world. So it was given to us. And there's always a price with covenant. There's always a price to be paid, which is why Jesus came. And the thing that, it made me cry the other day just thinking about it is when God knew from the beginning that we could never keep the law, that we could never be good enough to reach him. And knowing that, he knew from the beginning that he would sacrifice his son, he would sacrifice himself for us because he loved us so much. It says that he loved the world. He so loved the world, right? And he so loved the world. We hear that all the time, but I thought about it in a whole nother context recently, that he so loved the world that from the beginning, he knew that this was always the plan. This was always the plan from the beginning. And I must say this. I'm gonna say this a million times. We just finished Genesis recently, and in Genesis, Abraham, and I never understood this for a long time. I just thought it was gross. But when Abraham made the covenant with God, he took the sacrifices, he split them in two, and he put them on the right and left, and he walked down the path that he made of all the sacrifices. They were split in two like this, to where there was a path in between them. And in that covenant, what was being said there was, if I break this covenant, let me be as one of these sacrificed animals split in two. And that's a picture of marriage. That's a picture of marriage. You walk down, that's where you walk down the aisle, there's two sides. You know what I'm saying? That's where that picture comes from. And that's where to death do us part. That's part of that vow. And we are the bride of Christ. So it's like God knew from the beginning, long thousands, like from the beginning of time, he knew that we could never pay that price. But he loved us so much that he wouldn't want us to be like one of those sacrificed animals that was split in two, where Abraham walked down the middle. But guess what he did to himself to make sure that we could be in his presence, that we could always be with him, that we always had a way to the Father, was he made himself beyond recognition through Jesus. It says that he was unrecognizable. Like when he took those bruises, those whips to the back, all that, when he was put on the cross, it was beyond recognition. He was stabbed with a spear right here, and he had the cat o' nine tails. And he essentially did that to himself so that we wouldn't have to go through that. And lo and behold, now we're called the bride of Christ. And that is something I'm still thinking about. It's something that's still, I don't even think I fully grasped how deep that is. You know what I mean? But I love that, and for anybody who, I don't know how, I just got, what's up, bro? What's up, Austin, man? Play this back later. I got this on YouTube and Facebook on my Beyond the Fourth Wall with 3Ls channel. Play this back later on what I just described, and it talks about the sacrifice. And here it's talking about the sacrifice so that the Israel's firstborn wouldn't die. And I'm not even done with it yet, but it talks about how they need a spotless lamb. And that's exactly what Jesus came to be, was spotless for us. Because obviously none of us are spotless. We all know this. None of us are perfect. As good as we think we are in any moment, by the next moment we might have thought something, did something, whatever. Ain't none of us doing everything perfectly all the time at all times forever. You know what I'm saying? So it's, yeah, not to go down a rabbit hole, but that's something I'm gonna share as much as I can anytime I think about it. Cause to me it's powerful. It's powerful to me. So let me see. Where did I leave off? I'm gonna start at verse 12. Exodus chapter 12, verse 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt on that night, and will strike all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. Now the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see, that's why we say it's under the blood. When you're a believer, when you're in Christ, that's why we say it's under the blood. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. So this day shall be to you a memorial, and you shall keep it as a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. You shall keep it as a feast by an everlasting ordinance. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the first day you shall remove leaven from your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the seventh day, that person shall be cut off from Israel. On the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and on the seventh day there shall be a holy convocation for you. No manner of work shall be done on them, but that which every one must eat, that only may be prepared by you. So you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for on this same day I will have brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore you shall observe this day throughout your generations as an everlasting ordinance. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. For 7 days no leaven shall be found in your houses. Since whoever eats what is leavened, that same person shall be cut off from your congregation of Israel. Whether he is a stranger or a native of the land, you shall eat nothing leavened. In all your dwelling, you shall eat unleavened bread. This is good, man. And if I can equate it to something and apply it to something in our daily lives, man, is when it comes to leaven, Jesus said, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees. This is talking about doctrine. You know what I mean? The doctrine, or the ways of the ideologies, the ways of thinking, the ways of the world, the ways, of certain mindsets that don't actually bring you closer to God. We don't want to live in mixture. We don't want to, that, like, for instance, New Age. For those of you who know what New Age is, it's basically a mix of a million different ideas, spiritual ideas of all kind of different worldly mindsets, spiritualities, and different things. You basically just take what you want, different pieces, put this here, put this there, and you make your own gumbo out of spirituality. And what this is saying, you know what I'm saying? This is talking about consecration. Consecrate your houses. We are the temple of the Holy Spirit, so we must consecrate ourselves. And beware of the leaven. Then Moses called for the elders of Israel and said to them, pick out and take lambs for yourselves according to your families, and kill the Passover lamb. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop, dip it in blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 doorposts with the blood that is in the basin, and none of you shall go out of the door of his house until morning, for the Lord will pass through to strike the Egyptians. And when he sees the blood on the lintel and on the 2 doorposts, the Lord will pass over the door and not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to strike you. And you shall observe this thing as an ordinance for you and your sons forever. It shall come to pass when you come to the land which the Lord will give you, just as he promised, that you shall keep this service. And it shall be when your children say to you, what do you mean by this service? That you shall say, it is the Passover sacrifice of the Lord, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he struck the Egyptians and delivered our households. So the people bowed their heads and worshiped them. Then the children of Israel went away and did so. Just as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. And it came to pass at midnight that the Lord struck all the firstborn of the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on his throne to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. So Pharaoh rose in the night, he, all his servants, and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. Then he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and he said, rise, go out from among my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go. Serve the Lord as you have said. Also take your flocks and herds as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also. And the Egyptians urged the people that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, we shall all be dead. So the people took their dough before it was leavened, having their kneading bowls bound up in their clothes on their shoulders. You know, there's a certain type of people, and honestly, to some degree, maybe all of us are a little bit like this, because you know what I mean, pride and stuff like that. Pharaoh is a great example of pride, and for some people, it'll literally take the worst thing in the world for them to change, which is sad, you know. And I would urgently encourage anyone listening to not allow something crazy to happen just for you to finally give in to whatever God's been telling you all along. Now the children of Israel had done according to the word of Moses, and they asked from the Egyptians articles of silver, articles of gold, and clothing, and the Lord had given the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they granted them what they requested. Thus they plundered the Egyptians. Then the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides children. A mixed multitude went up with them also, in flocks and herds, a great deal of livestock, and they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they had brought up out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were driven out of Egypt and could not wait, nor had they prepared provisions for themselves. Now the sojourn of the children of Israel who lived in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, on that very same day, it came to pass that all the armies of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night of solemn observance to the Lord for bringing them out of the land of Egypt. This is that night of the Lord, a solemn observance for all the children of Israel throughout their generations. And the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. No foreigner shall eat it. But see, you know what that makes me think of? That makes me think of communion for real. That makes me think of communion. When it comes to being a Christian, you know, it says, let no foreigner eat it. You know, nobody who's not an actual believer of Christ and hasn't really given their lives over to God and submitted themselves to God's ways should take part in the flesh of Christ. But every man's servant who is bought for money, when you shall have circumcised him, then he may eat it. A sojourner and a hired servant shall not eat it in one house, it shall be eaten. You shall not carry any of the flesh outside the house, nor shall you break one of its bones. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger dwells with you and wants to keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as a native of the land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat it. One law, see, and then in the new covenant, you got to be circumcised in the heart. One law shall be for the native born and the stranger who dwells among you. Thus all the children of Israel did as the Lord commanded Moses, Aaron, so they did. And it came to pass on that very same day that the Lord brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt according to their armies. So before Christ, you know what I mean? We were still in that fallen state. You know what I mean? So there had to be a law to keep them physically clean to the best of their abilities. And then once Christ did what he did and he was able to renew us from the inside out, you know, we have a lot of grace in our covenant. We have a greater covenant, but Jesus didn't like just do away with the law in the sense that, you know, there's just no rules anymore. He actually elevated everything. He made it actually kind of harder, to be honest, where he said, you know, you say to lust is this, adultery is this. I say, even if you think heart, in your heart, you know what I mean, this your thought creeps into here and it becomes this thing that you're rehearsing in your head where you're actually imagining or thinking or meditating on the wrong thing. It's as if you already did it. There's an elevated thing here because the it's like what you know when you're following after God, the law is in your heart by way of the spirit. You know what I mean? When he renews you, you can actually follow God on a heart level versus just a set of rules. And he actually elevated it to where when you're living for God, you know, you get conviction. You get things deeper than just like written words. Then the Lord spoke to Moses. This is chapter 13, by the way. Then the actually, you know what? 1 second. I'll be right back. I gotta check something. This is gonna bug me. All right. All right, chapter 13. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, consecrate to me all the firstborn, whatever opens the womb among the children of Israel, both man and beast, it is mine. I'm running out of battery. And Moses said to the people, remember this day which you went out in which you went out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage for strength. For by strength of hand the Lord brought you out of this place. No leavened bread shall be eaten. On this day you are going out in the month of Abib, and it shall be when the Lord brings you into the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month. Hold on 1 second. It's making me think of something. This verse came to mind, which is Mark chapter 3, verse 27. It says, let me find the translation that I want. Okay, in the Amplified version, it says, but no one can go into a strong man's house and steal his property unless he first overpowers and ties up the strong man. Then he will ransack and rob his house. Let me see what another translation says. I want to go to NKJV. Here it is. No one can enter a strong man's house and plunder his goods unless he first binds the strong man, and then he will plunder his house. That's what this reminds me of. Everything that happened here. Let me see if I can find it. What made me think of it? Yeah, right here. Verse 51, chapter 12. And it came to pass on that same day that the Lord brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt according to their armies. You know, when Jesus was saying that first the strong man of the house would have to be bound, he was basically alluding to the fact that one would have to be stronger than the strong man of the house in order to first bind him and to plunder the house. And what God did, what Jesus was saying is no, because they were trying to challenge him on the power in which he was using. They were trying to accuse him of being of demons. That's why he's able to tell demons what to do. He was saying, nah, man, like first of all, a house divided, you've heard of that before. But he was also saying one would have to be able to bind the strong man of the house before plundering his goods. So the only person stronger than the devil is God himself. So he was saying, nah, I'm in the power of God himself as the son of God, and I'm operating out of sonship. And no one except for God himself, really. If God is working through you, it's God that does the work. You know what I'm saying? It's not us, it's not by strength nor might, but by the spirit. And what God did here was in the house of Egypt, he took the goods, which in this case was the people of God, his chosen people. He bound the strong man, which was Pharaoh, which at that time they would call themselves God on earth. So he bound the strong man out of the house of Israel and then set free and plundered his goods, which was the people of God. Let's see. Exodus chapter 13, verse 3. And Moses said to the people, remember this day which you went out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand, this is what made me think of it. Verse 3. By strength of hand, the Lord brought you out of this place. No leavened bread shall be eaten on this day. You are going out in the month of Abib. And it shall be when the Lord brings you into the land of the Canaanites. See, I just read this. Into a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. And on the seventh day, there shall be a feast to the Lord. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and no leavened bread shall be seen among you, nor shall leaven be seen among you in all your quarters. And you shall tell your son in that day, saying, this is done because of what the Lord did for me when I came up from Egypt. So it was a way for their families to be able to share the testimony. Whenever the younger generation is like, why do we do this? Now they're able to go right into the testimony. You know what I mean? The same should be for us. Whenever people see the way that we live our lives as believers and they ask us, Peter said, be ready to answer every man the hope to which you have been called, the hope that is inside of you. Same thing. It's an easy way to witness. When people ask, bro, why are you like this, man? Like, I've noticed you're different. It's a easy segue to talk about Jesus. It shall be a sign to you on your hand and as a memorial between your eyes, that the Lord's law may be in your mouth. For with a strong hand the Lord has brought you out of Egypt. You shall therefore keep this ordinance in its season from year to year. And it shall be when the Lord brings you out of the land of the Canaanites, as he swore to you and your fathers, and gives it to you, that you shall set apart to the Lord all that open the womb, that is, every firstborn that comes from an animal which you have, the males shall be the Lord's. But every firstborn of a donkey you shall redeem with a lamb. And if you will not redeem it, then you shall break its neck. And the firstborn of a man among your sons you shall redeem. So it shall be when your sons ask you in this time to come, saying, what is this? That you shall say to him, by strength of hand, the Lord brought us out of Egypt and out of the house of bondage. And it came to pass when Pharaoh was stubborn about letting us go, that the Lord killed all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all males that open the womb, but all the firstborn of my sons I redeem. It shall be as a sign of your hand and as frontlets between your eyes, for by strength of hand the Lord brought us out of Egypt. And all of this is like for it to be obvious that, man, this is the Lord's doing. Then it came to pass when Pharaoh had let the people go, that God did not lead them by way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, lest perhaps the people change their minds when they see war and return to Egypt. So God led the people around by way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up in orderly ranks out of the land of Egypt. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had placed the children of Israel under solemn oath, saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones from here with you. So they took their journey from Succoth and camped in Etham at the edge of the wilderness, and the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead the way, and by night a pillar of fire to give them light, so as to go by day and night. He did not take away the pillar of cloud by day or the pillar of fire by night from before the people. Let's see what we got left for today. All right. Got a lot of work to do. But I'm going to finish up chapter 14 and 15 so I can get to a good spot. Because yesterday I didn't read nearly as much. All right, Exodus chapter 14. Now the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and that they turn and camp before Piharoth, between Migdol and the sea, opposite Baal Zephon. You shall camp before it by the sea, for Pharaoh will say to the children of Israel, They are bewildered by the land. The wilderness has closed them in. Then I will harden Pharaoh's heart so that he will pursue them, and I will gain honor over Pharaoh and over all his army, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. And they did so. Now it was told to the king of Egypt that the people had fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and his servants was turned against the people. And they said, Why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us? So he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. This makes me think of real quick. Whenever Jesus was in the wilderness, and he overcame the enemy, it says that the devil left him, Satan left him, and so that he could wait for a more opportune time. And I'm paraphrasing right now, but it says to wait for a more opportune time. And Jesus talked about when you get free from demons, they wander about dry places, but whenever they come back, they see the place, they see that you're swept and cleaned up, renovated, and they say, "Yo, I'm coming back home, but I'm bringing friends with me." So they come back even harder than before. This looks exactly the same way to me. Pharaoh finally let them go. They finally got free. They finally were in the clear. And then not only did Pharaoh pursue them, but he brought his army with him. He brought more with him that time to make it even harder to pursue them. Um, so to lower their chances, you know what I'm saying? So what I would say is once you get free, because the Bible says that when you submit to God, resist the devil and he shall flee from you. Chances are when you're going to be free. And the problem is sometimes when you're free, some of the old temptations start to try to come back. And I would say continue to grow in perseverance. Continue trusting in the Lord. What's up, bro? And continue, number one, submitting to God. Because the hard part is sometimes, we start feeling good about ourselves. We start getting a little confidence, a little bit of strength enters us, and we start feeling, we rely on the wrong thing. It says, step one, submit to God. Step two, resist the devil. Sometimes we try to skip number one. And as long as you continually submit to God and go to Him, then He won't be able to triumph over you, just as we're about to see with the Egyptians. So he made it ready his chariot, and took his people with him. Also, he took 600 choice chariots and all the chariots of Egypt with captains over every one of them. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with boldness. So the Egyptians pursued them, all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, his horsemen and his army, and overtook them camping by the sea beside Pihahiroth before Baal Zephon. And when Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, so they were very afraid. And the children of Israel cried out to the Lord, and they said to Moses, Because there were no graves in Egypt, have you taken us away to die in the wilderness? Why have you dealt with us to bring us out of Egypt? And you're going to see this cycle with the Israelites over and over again. Just like Pharaoh had a cycle of, all right, fine, I'm gonna let y'all go. And then all of a sudden his heart is hardened again. He's like, no, never mind. I'd go back on my word. You can't go. There, every time it gets hard for them, they're gonna turn against Moses and say, Bro, what are we doing? You did this to screw us over. and they're going to lose faith every single time. Is this not the word that we told you in Egypt, saying, let us alone that we may serve the Egyptians? For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians that we should die in the wilderness. Some people don't want to be saved. Some people rather just stay in bondage. And Moses said to the people, because once the enemy's after you, once you become a threat, once the enemy realizes that you're free and he tries to chase after you, it gets scary. And sometimes you rather just be in bondage, but not have him chasing you because he already has you, than to be free and have to put up a fight. Sometimes we just don't want to fight. And Moses said to the people, do not be afraid, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will accomplish for you today. And the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall see again no more forever. The Lord will fight for you. And that's our promise for today. That's the phrase of the day. The Lord will fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. And the Lord said to Moses, why do you cry to me? Tell the children of Israel to go forward, but lift up your rod and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground. Not only will he get you through, but on dry ground through the midst of the sea, and I indeed will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. So I will gain honor over Pharaoh and all his army, his chariots, and his horsemen. Then the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I have gained honor for myself over Pharaoh, his chariots, and his horsemen. And the angel of the Lord who went before the camp of Israel moved and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went before them and stood behind them. So it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. Thus it was a cloud of darkness to the one, and it gave light by night to the other, so that the one did not come near the other all that night. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea into the dry ground, and the waters were divided. So the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea on the dry ground, and the waters were a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went after them in the midst of the sea, all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. Now it came to pass in the morning watch that the Lord looked down upon the army of the Egyptians through the pillar of the fire and cloud, and he troubled the army of the Egyptians, and he took off their chariot wheels so that they drove them with difficulty. And the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel. See, when you submit to God and resist the devil, he will flee. Let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fights for them against the Egyptians. This is what happens every time with the devil. It's nothing new. Then the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand over the sea, that the waters may come back upon the Egyptians and on their chariots and on their horsemen. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. And when the morning appeared, the sea returned to its full depth, while the Egyptians were fleeing into it. So the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. Then the waters returned and covered the chariots, the horsemen, and all the army of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. Not so much as one of them remained. But the children of Israel had walked on dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right, bro. They just found a whole bunch of like chariots and I think horse bones and stuff like that. Literally right in that same area. So the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. Thus Israel, the great work which the Lord had done in Egypt, so the people feared the Lord and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. Then Moses and the children of Israel, this is chapter 15, by the way. I'm in Exodus chapter 15, and then that'll be it for now. Then Moses and the children of Israel sang this song to the Lord and spoke, saying, I will sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and its rider he has thrown into the sea. The Lord is my strength and song, and he became my salvation. There's a psalm that's just like this. He is my God, and I will praise him, my father's God, and I will exalt him. The Lord is a man of war. Hallelujah. The Lord is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his army he has cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. The depths have covered them. They sank to the bottom like a stone. Your right hand, O Lord, has become glorious in power. Your right hand, O Lord, has dashed the enemy in pieces in the greatness of your excellence. You have overthrown those who rose against you. You sent them, you sent forth your wrath, it consumed them like stubble, and with the blast of your nostrils the waters were gathered together, the flood stood upright like a heap, the depths congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil, my desires shall be satisfied on them. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. You blew with your wind, the sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like you, O Lord, among the gods? Who is like you, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? You stretched out your right hand, the earth swallowed them. You in your mercy have led forth the people whom you have redeemed. You have guided them in your strength, your holy habitation. The people will hear and be afraid. Sorrow will take hold of the inhabitants of Philistia. Oh wow, man. I definitely would love to hear about that, man. Yeah. Where'd you get it? Like Amazon or something? All right, verse 15. Then the chiefs of Edom will be dismayed, the mighty men of Moab, trembling will take hold of them. All the inhabitants of Canaan will melt away. Fear and dread will fall upon them. By the greatness of your arm, they will be as still as stone, till your people pass over, O Lord, till the people pass over whom you have purchased. You will bring them in and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, in the place, O Lord, which you have made for your own dwelling, the sanctuary, O Lord, which your hands have established. The Lord shall reign forever. For your horses, for the horses of Pharaoh went with his chariots and his horsemen into the sea, and the Lord brought back waters of the sea upon them. But the children of Israel went on dry land in the midst of the sea. Then Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took the tremble in her hand, and the women went out after her with trembles and with dances. And Miriam answered them, Sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and its rider he has thrown into the sea. Verse 22. So Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea. Then they went out into the wilderness of Shur, and they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. Now when they came to Marah, they could not drink the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of it was called Marah. The people complained against Moses, saying, What shall we drink? So he cried out to the Lord, and the Lord showed. What's going on with this? I don't even know. The live will end in 5 minutes. Come on, bruh. It's all good. I'm finna finish this. What shall we drink? So he cried out to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a tree. When he cast it into the waters made sweet. The waters were made sweet. There he made a statute and an ordinance for them. And there he tested them and said, If you diligently heed the voice of the Lord your God, and do what is right in his sight, give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases on you which have been brought on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you. Jehovah, yeah, Jehovah Rapha. Then they came to Elim, where there were 12 wells of water and 70 palm trees. They camped there by the waters. Come on, man, get out of here. All right, y'all. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. It says it's finna end, but somehow I can't end it on my own because it's blacked out. This is weird. Bro, you guys are weird for that. All right. All right. This TikTok is so weird, man. It's saying we have detected inactivity, even though I'm live. It's all good. I'm finna end this. All right. TikTok is done. That's weird. TikTok is weird. All right. There you go. Exodus chapter 10 through chapter 15. How long I've been live? Over an hour? That's what's up. That's what's up. And just for the heck of it, if this is still on, I'm about to react to a little bit more of that show from yesterday before I get back to work. So here we go. Let me move this down here. And
Okay.
let me fast forward this. I don't know where I left off. Here we go.
I missed you.
Oh, Momo, I missed you as well.
She's bringing Jethro, my father-in-law, up with her.
Moses!
The father he never had, man.
I'm so excited.
When you are the father of 7 daughters, you get excited about having a son-in-law as honorable as Moses. Now, I know before he married Zipporah, he did technically kill a man. But
Did I do this every time?
Every time. You know what they say? You only have one true love. I am Zipporah.
Oh, I am Aaron. I am Moses' brother.
Yes, Moses' brother. I've heard so much about you. And you are?
I'm Miriam. I'm Moses' sister.
Oh, really? He never mentioned he had a sister.
Yes, no.
okay, Moses, okay. I am happy to see you too.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Both of you.
So, show me these tribes of yours. I want to see what the Lord has done for you and for your people.
Yes, I'll give you the grand tour. Miriam, if you could get Zipporah settled in, I have to show Jethro around.
Let's see.
Sounds like good bonding time.
You know what? I'm finna stop there because I'm gonna try to match it up to where we actually are in the story. Cool. But yeah, man, there we have it. That's Exodus 10 to 15, man. And